How you doing, YouTubers? This video is going to be for both old and new preppers. And I'll give you a heads up, I'm probably going to do at least a two-part, maybe three-part series on hunting gear. It's not really for people who already hunt. It's more for those people who are looking around going, yeah, I might need to know that, to give you an idea of some of the things you're going to need. And then I'm going to go around with my video camera here and show everything and talk about what it does. It's kind of intensive on the gear side, depending on how you want to hunt. And there's, for every way one person does something, there's another way to do it. So I did go hunting this past Tuesday, and I bagged a 250-pound wild female pig. She's already been cut up and is at the meat processor, and in a week and a half she'll dress, the meat we get will be about 65 pounds or so, but then we have it made into bratwurst sausage that is got half and half domestic pig, half wild, so it'll be about 130 pounds of bratwurst, and it's going to be a bill of $520 plus or minus. So moving on to the information. The web is full of stuff on YouTube and prepping channels and talking about the importance of stockpiling and prepping, and I agree with everything they say. I'm going to caveat some things. One, if you're new to this, please take the time to listen to 1 second after. Also, if you like audiobooks, look at the America Falls series. The stories are interesting to me, but it's the background information that the stories talk about. I'm not going to give too much away, but in 1 second after, food and resources and lack of power become huge issues. And then America Falls, same thing. So when you look at things, and like they all say, and I'll tell you this, you need to do your own research, but having gone to war and lived an austere living environment twice, the second year was better, but the first year was pretty rough. Food and water are huge. So in the prepping world, we all talk about being prepped. You know, they talk about a year's worth of food. They talk about water, firearms, security systems, growing your own food. So this is what I would tell you. I agree with stockpiling as much as you can. But I think the first goal that you really need to concentrate on is surviving the first 90 days. You know, sadly, cities will be really awful places as soon as people don't have the things that they think they need, which is, you know, food and water. And then, you know, pinball is talked about, because Kazakhstan, Alaska Preppers talked about it. Me and my two really good friends, we spend quite a lot of time discussing, and I keep asking the same question and they don't have the answer. What's the end goal? What's the purpose? What's the driving factor? What they want to accomplish? And I don't know what it is, and I haven't been able to find anybody who can give a good answer. You know, personally, I think China wants to dominate the world and be, you know, make everyone slaves. You've seen videos and information about all the buildings they've built that are vacant. The real estate company has gone bankrupt. So, you know, Pinball did a video today about the 10-year and 30-year yields, talking about the interest rate going up and all the problems that are coming. So I can tell you that gardening is not an overnight thing. And then if you watch Gray Man Prepping, he'll tell you he learned a lot this year. And he's container gardening because he's on a rental property. Even gardening in the dirt, like fencing off a section of your yard, tilling it up and stuff, it's not something you can do you can't just start doing it, because you're going to have failures. Now, having said that, if you haven't started and you can, please do. It may be the difference between you live and surviving. And I saw something today that I'm going to go back and get. I didn't get it at the time because I didn't know how much my groceries in my cart were, and I didn't know how much what I looked at wanted to buy. It's two fold-out things, one about knots and the other one was about edibles, and it's region-specific edibles, like wild plants. So I'm going back to get those probably tomorrow. So I'm in the chicken business, so to speak. I'm not large scale. Out of 18 chickens, I have 11 that survive. 4 roosters are leaving tomorrow. Somebody's coming by to pick those up, so it'll give my hens some relief. I'm getting 3 to 4 eggs a day out of the hens. I don't know how many hens I got because I have 2 or 3 chickens that I can't tell if they're roosters or they're hens. And I have 5 roosters that I can definitely tell, and I have 3 that I know are hens, and then I got 3 in between that I don't. They got jowls, but they're not as big as the roosters. I don't know what they're doing. But anyway, 4 of the roosters are going away, so they're probably going to become soup. And hopefully I don't wind up regretting this. But I'm taking the money from those roosters, I'm going to set it aside, and then hopefully 6 to 8 weeks when the feed store that I use gets chicks in, I'm going to invest in 8 more, hopefully all hens. And then I'll have to separate them off from the big roosters until they get bigger, because I don't want the grown roosters killing them. I had a rooster escape today, and I spent 30 minutes going around the pen tying up things that I discovered that were a little loose. I don't know where he got out of. I've had one rooster escape twice. I don't know if it was the same one or not, but I have 3 white roosters, and twice a white rooster was out of the pen. So some people might say, why 90 days? 90 days, surviving those first 90 days is going to be a big deal. I try not to stay just on that thing, because it's unfortunately people who need medications. People like me, I need some medications, but I'll probably be alright without them. I also need a CPAP machine, which I can live for several years without it, but the sleep apnea causes huge problems. So lack of food and resources, during the story of the 1 Second Actor, everybody lost weight. And then if you've ever paid attention to photos from World War II, I didn't see that many photos from World War I. World War II, there just weren't that many fat people because food just wasn't readily available. So, and then if you look at the grand solar minimum, you're looking at shortage of natural gas, which leads to shortage of fertilizer, which leads to a smaller crop yield. And then, here in America we have farmers and ranchers that they don't have to sell to us. But you have countries around the world that are starting to say, you know what, fuck you to the world, and we're keeping our shit. So I don't know if American farmers and ranchers will do that. Right now China has got their tentacles and ownership, and they are reportedly to own 50% of the world's grain reserves. So I think prepping is going to be a huge thing, and I think it's very important that everyone gets involved. Right now I'm a little bit concerned that it might be too late for some people, but even if you start today and 2 weeks from now something happens, then you're 2 weeks in front of everyone else, and that could be the difference between living and dying. So back to the 90-day thing. Most people don't know how to live without electricity. Down in the South, we're cooked in the sun.